Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and to say I have an interesting car today would be a huge understatement. Come on over and take a look at what we have. This car to me is just incredible, and I know if you watch my videos, we use different superlatives to describe cars, but this car is really over the top. The car is a replica of a Packard Boattail Speedster, but it's much more than just that. The car started life as a 1934 Super 8 5-passenger club sedan, which was style number 756. So it's a Super 8 chassis, a straight 8 Super 8 engine, and all original Super 8 drivetrain. Somewhere in the car's life, about midlife, it was turned into a pickup truck, which actually happened frequently to Packards. They had very strong frames and very strong engines. So probably in the 40s and 50s, this car was literally a pickup truck. It was saved by a collector, Albert Voorhuis, a Dutch guy, who has a significant car collection and just loved the different style and designs of cars. He rescued this car, bought it, and decided to set on a path and create cars he always admired, which were the Packard Boattail Speedsters. There were only, as I understand it, only 4 original correct Boattail Speedsters out there from Packard. The first serious one was Ed Macaulay, who really started this design in '32. What Albert did when he set out to build this car was he took design elements from all of the different versions of the Boattail Speedsters, which I'll show you on this car. He commissioned using Jim Harry of Chalfant Motor Company, who he already had a pre-existing relationship with Jim. Jim is well known for creating from nothing, basically, handmade bodies for cars. And Albert had a couple Bugattis, so Jim was well known for doing Bugattis. So he commissioned him to restore and build this car. It is a fully restored car. It is on the original straight 8 chassis, the Super 8 chassis. The engine was rebuilt, the transmission was rebuilt, everything was rebuilt on the car as part of the restoration. But then what they did was they took style elements, as I mentioned, from all the different Boattails. So the front of the car, we have the gorgeous chrome Packard grille. Some of the Boattails had a body-colored grille. They chose to go with the chrome. It does still have the thermostatically controlled louvers that can open and close due to heat in the engine. Has the gorgeous lenses on the headlights that are scalloped and they're tapered from the center out. All of the chrome is new. All of the chrome was redone on the car, re-chromed. It was stripped down to bare metal. Everything was done as you would expect on a full-on restoration for a car at this level. Coming along this side of the car, and this to me, I mean, when you read the history on these cars, everybody is involved. LeBaron, Dietrich, Packard Body Company, Macaulay, just all the greats of the styling had an impact on how this car looks. He chose to keep the dual spare tire front fenders, so you've got spare tires on both sides. He kept the fenders that had this covering it that came from the original sedan. Chose to go with wire wheels. Some of the Boattails had disc wheels. He kept wires. It is a straight 8, so it has 4 functioning hood louvers, and they're all original. They did significant work right here, and this is where the Boattail Speedsters had a lengthened hood. So this car has the correct lengthened hood right here. They kept the short cowl right here. They did a completely custom-made windshield, replicating what the Boattails had. So this was all custom-made for this car. Coming along the side, another detail element, he chose not to put the louvers in here. A couple of the Boattails have vertical louvers along here. He decided to keep this clean and instead did beautiful work here on the running boards. I'm not sure if this is mahogany. It might be. It's gorgeous wood. Beautiful deep tone to it. Scalloped nicely. Beautifully done. He kept the puddle light Packard always had there, so he retained that. He kept the golf club door. And then what he did, which was really cool, I think, In the rear, he incorporated the pontoon fenders. So it has the pure Boattail pontoon fenders with skirts. So the skirts, of course, are removable. So to the best of my knowledge, I don't think another car exists in exactly this form. That style front fender, long hood, complete pontoon fenders in the back, this style running board. The colors on the car, I think, fit it perfectly. It is a dark green with a very, very light green up here, like a cream color. Nicely done, paintwork, everything is very well done on the car, as you would expect. And this car really has less than 500 miles since it was completed. It was finished 2013 is when the basic build was completed. And then it just sort of sat around for a couple of years. Albert recently had the interior finished and had a convertible soft top made for the car. So this is a car that can be purchased. It's never been to a show. It's never been to a tour, a drive, or anywhere. So it's a fresh car on the scene right now. Coming over here, I'll show you the interior. Has, of course, all original Packard hardware for the door handle. The interior is finished out nicely. All the leather is beautifully done. All the chrome was re-chromed. The leather is a butterscotch color, and it's just gorgeous. It's the correct leather. It has the right feel to it, the right texture to it. The wood was all redone. It's all new, high gloss. Everything works on the car. All the gorgeous instrumentation. I have driven the car. We'll take you for a drive. It drives beautifully. The transmission shifts much better than I expected it to. Second and third are very smooth and shift easily. The clutch action is easy. It pulls like a locomotive, as you would expect. Very typical Packard driveline feel. Very powerful, very smooth. And the fit and finish is just phenomenal. Coming to the rear, you can see, again, I think this gorgeous taper. I mean, the car is so outrageous. It's just gorgeous. Coming along here, you see the taper of the rear pontoons, a nice little design element. When they did it, there's a little seam right here. The paint line delineates it, but there's actually a piece of metal there. These fantastic rear tail lamps, which the Boattails had. I mean, I think this thing is, from the early 30s and just incredible. They decided to go with one gas cap on the left side, on the port side. They did not do the dual gas caps, just one. Comes to a beautiful taper here, scooped out. And then, of course, the right side of the car just flows along. I love how they chose to have the Packard emblems here, which is correct for the fender skirt. And then I'll show you, this opens up. And they made little chrome stays so this can hold up. There is an actual trunk underneath there, and that's where the top lives. We will show you pictures of putting the top in place. And that's all brand new. That was just completed. Nicely, a beautifully finished wood piece along the back of the seats. This does not have the staggered seating, as you can clearly see. It's straight across seating. It did not do the staggered seating. And this comes down. And on this side, you can also see just how nice the interior is. The carpet is in excellent condition. And it's really something. When you're in this car, you feel quite different driving something like this around. This is a car that makes a statement. As I mentioned, both side, spare tire on this side. And I will show you, I think this is the heaviest hood that I've ever lifted. So here we have the straight 8 motor. And that's right out of the sedan that was the original donor car. We do have a plaque here on the firewall. We'll take pictures of that. Packard Motor Company, but then they typed in Chalfant Motor Company, who did the body, and it's dated 2013. The car's not perfect. There are a few minor blemishes in the paint. It's a very small bubble right there. There's another one in the tail. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. We also have, that comes with the car, they did a lot of extensive photos of the restoration, which is fun to see all of this. Here you can see the pickup truck as it arrived. There they took the back of the truck off. I mean, it's pretty neat. They saved this old car. And there it is, with the rear, everything stripped off. There you can see where the original hood would have ended, where the cowl would have been. They retained the front fenders, but everything from their back was redone. And that's when they blacked it out to try and draw in them. Also, interestingly, they're doing the running boards on the car. And you'll see where they lengthen the box section for the longer hood. And when he started building the buck for it, it was all done the way it would have been done in period. So underneath the hand-formed and hand-rolled sheet metal is all this hand-done wood, which was all the type of wood they would have used when they built the car. These cars were being built originally. And here you can see, and this, of course, all comes with it. So it's all detailed and recorded. There's the car starting to come together. So it would be a fascinating car to add to anybody's collection who is a real discriminating collector and who really appreciates the height of American design with these cars coming out of the 30s. It's an iconic design. The car is fully operational. It runs and drives quite well. It's titled as a 34 Packard. That's how it's being sold. We have complete history of the build, and it's unusual, and it's a rare moment when something like this comes on the market. And so we are, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're very pleased and proud to represent this car and be selling it. I just think it's just an incredible car. I love the style and design, and talk about having a presence. So I hope I haven't gone on too long. It's clear. I love this car. Call us, ask us any questions. I am not a Packard expert. I'm happy to be corrected on anything if I've misspoke about anything, but we'll provide any details. We invite people to come and see the car and inspect it themselves. It's a very special car. So thanks for taking the time, and I'm hoping we find a really good home for this wonderful car. Thanks a lot.